Hello and blessings, beautiful souls. Avalon here, and welcome to another Coven Prep. Today I wanted to talk to you about your biosphere and the importance of being uniquely and deeply connected to your biosphere. So, no matter where you are in this beautiful, big world, your biosphere is a unique expression of earth energy that is solely for you. It is part of your narrative. Even in a situation where your neighbor may be pagan and they too may be focusing on their biosphere and you too may be living side by side, their biosphere is still going to be different to yours because your biosphere begins with you. It extends out to your home, it extends out to your garden, it extends out to your greater environment. And so it becomes very important to connect with and to synchronize with your biosphere because it does make up an intricate and integral part of your personal witch's narrative. In witchcraft, we harness a great deal of personal power for magical workings from the earth itself. We never ever rely on our own personal energy. We are simply channels for energy. So understanding your biosphere will help you to understand what energies are available for you to channel. This may be sun energy, it may be seasonal energy, but it also might be energies of natural resources in your area. It might be plants, botanicals, it might be animals, and each part of the world, everybody's biosphere is different. It might be incrementally different or it might be absurdly different one to the other. But it is different, and it is your job as a witch and a steward of the natural world, excuse the background noise, to understand exactly what energies are at play in your biosphere, what blossoms, what can be harvested, what animals have a tendency of lingering in your space. How do you respond to that? How do the seasons flow in your biosphere? Are they a direct mirror of what we hear and read about constantly in regards to the Wheel of Eight or personal seasons, 4 standard seasons, and as the seasons fall in the Wheel of Eight? Is that something that takes place in your particular biosphere? I lived in the tropics and we had no seasons, or so I thought, until I really integrated with my biosphere and I saw the subtlety of the seasons. They were not the same seasons as I have down here in a temperate climate in southern Tasmania. And so I'm looking at my biosphere very differently now. But what I do understand is the importance of integrating with the earth around you, of creating a bond, a sense of gratitude for the land and a sense of honouring and veneration and respect for the environment. Now, I do this through recycling. I do this through living a low waste type of lifestyle. I tend to minimise. I'm into minimalism a little bit, and I tend to be a very conscious person when it comes to my relationship and my impact with the earth. I try to lower my carbon footprint any way that I can, and I'm not 100% with this, and I'm not completely zero waste, but then again, it's very difficult in modern society to be zero waste, but that is how I do it. And by doing so, I lean into a greater understanding and respect for the land. Now, that's just my personal story. It doesn't have to be yours. You need to find your way to an understanding and that veneration and that respect of the land in your own personal way, in keeping with your own personal values. It's not about what I do. It's not about what anybody else does. It's about how you go about that process for yourself. And so I encourage you to find a way to understand your biosphere, to learn to respect, venerate, and work in a cohesive relationship with your biosphere, to take from it wisdom and to borrow from it power and always give as a result of that. And so, because there's conversation around me right now, what I would like to say is begin journaling, begin placing into your journal the importance of the seasons as you see them. What is pronounced about the seasons, what is not pronounced, and what happens in your biosphere. Do a daily journal. You might want to do a bullet journal about this. You might want to do a little, a quick entry. Is it sunny? Is it raining? What's the temperature? And so on and so forth. It doesn't have to be anything, ultra elaborate unless you want it to be, in which case go right ahead. And if you have the time to make it elaborate, then that's fantastic. But if you don't, that's totally fine as well. The importance is to learn to understand. So at this very moment in time, I want you to start charting the natural movement of the earth around you. to assist you to build up a working relationship with your biosphere. As you are doing this, try to get to know your plants, try to get to know your animals, try to get to know your seasons, try to get to know your moon cycles and how everything appears to work in relation to one another, and how that may have an impact on you, because it absolutely will. Try and figure out which moon phases you feel your absolute best, which seasons you feel at your absolute best. What days of the week do you feel powerful? What days of the week do you feel crappy? Factor in, if you're a female and you're menstruating, factor in your moon cycles into this equation and attempt to really create that biosphere in that complete sense. And breathe into it your own unique essence and take from it a deep and enduring wisdom. There is so much to be said about understanding your biosphere. Whether you're in a city, whether you're in the country, whether you're in the north or the south, there is so much to be said about it. And such an amazing amount of wisdom and patience and grounding and magic to be gained from understanding your biosphere in this particular personal manner. So it's about building a personal connection with your biosphere. And you will know the best way that that works for you. And so I've just given you a few little examples of how that might, come to play. And you may feel like, yeah, okay, I'm going to journal about this, I'm going to do these things. Well, your approach could be totally different. No matter which way you go about it, try and really go for it and see where it takes you. Much love, many blessings.